Welcome to PCGamer Radio, and today we are going to be looking at the marketing strategy analysis of Squadron 42 in a theoretical look at to see what they are be doing at CIG to market this behemoth of a game. Because we all know that this year a game's coming out, the biggest game that we have ever seen, and we know it's not GTA 6, it's Squadron 42, isn't it? Well, in this analysis, this is very intellectual, and I've been using Cloud AI to give me his opinion on the things that we don't know about which could be going on. So we're going to cover 11 sections, and it's going to start with the current status of the game, community awareness, the 3 audience segments that there is out there, the marketing timing, because we have a compressed window now for 2026 and there's key events coming up, the streamer strategy, will creators be targeted, gaming events, we've got Summer Game Fest and Gamescom, pivot limitations, why they can't change direction if one type of marketing doesn't get traction. Are they going to pivot? Is it possible? Budget recommendations, the 3 different tiers of budgets that they could play with. Which one is going to give them? What do you think it might give them? Is there a Hollywood angle? Will Chris Roberts' unique background have an effect on marketing? Question mark. Confidence in the confidence analysis of breaking down all the different strategies and seeing then which is the best class for the marketing, which is going to be looking at everything we've looked at, a bit of a roundup, and then we'll kind of do a final summary where we'll look at the most important conclusion that we can get from everything we've looked at. So let's get into it, shall we? This is going to be a bit of a long one, and I'd suggest you get your favourite hot drink or soda and some refreshments to go with it. Alright, let's go into number 1, shall we? This is Squadron 42's current status. Well, we know it's a standalone, single-player space combat game set in the Star System universe. It's developed by Cloud Imperium Games. We all call them CIG, and it features a Hollywood caliber cast including Henry Cavill, Gary Oldman, Mark Hamill, and Gillian Anderson, and has been in development since 2012. That's 14 years in productions. Key milestones of the project: it was feature complete in an announcement at CitizenCon October 2023. A year later, in 2024, they announced a 2026 release window, and confirmed from December 2025, they said the game is now fully playable from start to finish with 40 hours of gameplay content, and it's currently in polish and bug fixing phase, targeting an internal beta. Now, as of this month, May 2026, Chris Roberts has confirmed the plan for an end of 2026 release, but cannot 100% guarantee it. The primary external factor cited is the release of Grand Theft Auto 6, expected in November 2026. Alright, is there going to be a strategy to go up against Grand Theft Auto 6? Because Chris Roberts himself has said that Squadron 42 is so big it could stand up there with any massive AAA game. So will he go toe-to-toe? And is that a strategy? Is there a strategy that will be able to knock GTA 6 out? That might seem improbable, but we will be looking at that as we continue. Now, number 2, gaming community awareness. Now, there's 3 groups of, you might say, gamers out there. There's first the dedicated backer. There's over 1 million of us, and we are highly informed, deeply invested, and guaranteed day one purchasers. I've already got it as part of my pledge. I'm an original backer of Squadron 42, so I'm definitely a dedicated backer. It says we are a small but passionate community who have followed every development update since 2012. I don't think we're small, 1 million, but Cloud still thinks we're a little bubble of the gaming community. Then there's the skeptic meme crowd. A significant portion of the gaming community knows Star Citizen primarily as a punchline, the game that took 14 years and nearly $1 billion and still hasn't launched. The cast members who filmed the documentary footage years ago have visibly aged, and for this group, Squadron 42 is releasing this year is a joke they've heard before. The biggest group by far, though, is the truly unaware, or some people call these the mainstream. Casual gamers, console players, people who don't follow PC gaming news closely have likely never heard of Squadron 42. It has existed in a niche bubble for so long that it never crossed over into the mainstream cultural awareness the way that Cyberpunk 2077 did, or Starfield. So it's got a lot of work to do, hasn't it? And the core problem, according to Cloud, is that CIG's instinctive towards a punchy campaign. Have they said it's going to be a short campaign? Like they've shown us enough. It basically says that a punchy campaign makes sense if you already have awareness. But Squadron 42 does need to be introduced to the mainstream, not merely reminded, a much heavier marketing lift that requires a longer runway. Now, even though Cloud believes that it needs a long runway to get out there to the mainstream, I have been arguing with Cloud how this is going to be different. I'm going to be exploring this in this intellectual conversation with Cloud, and to kind of bring him round to my thoughts and analysis. So let's continue, shall we? So number 3, the marketing timing strategy. Now, the window is now, isn't it? Or is it too late? Now, it says, working backwards from a November GTA 6 launch, CIG needs a minimum of 90 days of marketing to build awareness with a cold mainstream audience. That places the ideal start late May or early 2026. There's key events on the calendar. June 5th, Summer Games Fest. June 7th, Xbox Game Showcase. Not going to be on that. August 25th is Gamescom opening night live, and the next day you've got Gamescom's main event. Now, at this stage, Cloud believes that the best strategy is a 2-beat strategy. Game Fest, he believes, a cinematic world premiere trailer, announcement release window, plant the flag publicly, let the internet react. This is the most important slot on the calendar, watched by millions simultaneously and covered by every major gaming outlet within hours. Now, at this minute, Cloud is kind of predicting stuff that you might think it might be shown at the Summer Games Fest. I will introduce more discussion in this as we develop down further into this discussion, but I believe this can change and become much bigger. So at this early stage, Cloud also believes that the second beat will be Gamescom opening night live with an extended gameplay reveal, show seamless traversal, scale and Hollywood quality cinematics, drop the exact release date at Gamescom. Are you worried about no release date? Well, here, Gamescom is going to be the release date, is the best advice. Begin streamer outreach immediately. Like now, you start now, because of course streamers have deadlines, you know, they have their own schedules to meet. Late August timing gives enough runway before GTA 6 November Shadow descends. So at this stage, Cloud is a little bit worried about that in its whole marketing. He says, waiting is dangerous because each week of silence is a week of potential audience drifting towards GTA 6 anticipation. The awareness building cycle first exposure, repeat touches, social proof, purchase decision takes weeks to months and cannot be compressed through ad spend alone. All right, let's go to my number 4 topic. This is streamers and content creator strategy. Cloud does believe it could be the single most important marketing lever available to CIG. They solve the awareness problem faster than any paid campaign and directly address the skepticism narrative through authentic third-party validation. Now, streamers could work well for Squadron 42 because a single 8-hour stream from top creator exposes the game to millions who would never click an ad. It's authentic. Holy crap, this is incredible. Reactions overcome skepticism no trailer can defeat. The visual spectacle. Seamless space travel, cinematic quality is purpose-built for streaming content, and modern game launches live or die on content creator coverage. So this is definitely one angle for the strategy to look at. It does say priority targets are Shroud, massive PC gaming credibility, known for ambitious titles. Asmongold, enormous reach. Reaction content drives massive conversation. Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, mainstream crossover, casual audiences new to Squadron 42. Core Carnage, deeply respected in narrative roleplay games. Skill Up, ACG, critical credibility for single-player narrative games. Video game donkey, disproportionate cultural impact relative to subscriber count. At this stage, though, I'm thinking that the whole streamer angle of gamers is really going into it's going to blend into what the GTA 6 thing is doing, isn't it? Because if a GTA 6 does anything, it might get in the way here. So even though he's pushing this angle of what is like an obvious angle, I am going to be blending this into something a bit more interesting that no one's talking about later. But Cloud does think that Henry Cavill is a wild card. He says Cavill is publicly known as a genuine gamer and he has built PCs on camera and spoken openly about gaming. Have you seen that video? I thought it was a fun one to watch. His fan base overlaps significantly with the gaming audience. If he streams himself playing, I think Elon Musk would get more attention than Henry Cavill. Does he stream games? Henry Cavill, I don't know. Or posts authentically about it. The coverage crosses into the mainstream entertainment news at completely different scale. Now, interesting that Cloud believes that there's a different scale here. If you go into entertainment news, this is definitely a strategy, which I think something is going to be a big surprise that you'll learn in this video. Now, the content strategy Cloud says is live streams, build real-time excitement and FOMO, drive conversation, YouTube Let's Plays, evergreen content working for months post-launch, review-style videos critical for overcoming skepticism, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, the seamless planet to surface traversal is made for viral short-form clips that reach non-gamers. Again, this is mainly obvious stuff. Coordination will be critical, Cloud says. A synchronized launch day event where 10 to 15 major creators go live simultaneously will create a cultural event. Staggered, uncoordinated coverage is far less powerful. The first 3 hours of gameplay must be an absolute showstopper, and that is all most mainstream viewers will see before deciding whether to buy. So yeah, they'll probably just watch the first 3 hours of the game, is what Cloud said, is what he thinks. Alright, number 5 is the gaming events coming up. Why are these events critical? These events are not just advertising slots, they are cultural moments where the entire gaming community pays attention simultaneously. A great showing at Summer Games Fest becomes the conversation for days. It's going to have to be big if it becomes the main conversation. A strong Gamescom demo generates hands-on coverage from hundreds of journalists and creators simultaneously, compressing the awareness-building timeline dramatically. So there could be a compression of the timeline, especially if you're doing a reduced marketing campaign. So the Gamescom's going to be 100%, isn't it? The Summer Games Fest coming up is the priority, is what he says. The most important slot on the calendar, appearing here with a cinematic event-level trailer, would reach millions simultaneously across gaming and entertainment media. Missing this would be a significant strategic mistake given the compressed timeline. So we are going to see it at Summer Games Fest. Now, the quirk of the marketing campaign is going to be Chris Roberts. I'm going to be coming to that very soon. Cloud says the follow-up though will be Gamescom opening night, and he says it's the ideal second major beat. Extended gameplay reveal with the release date. Seconds on that. So late August is perfect. He says there's enough runway before GTA 6. But what if it does go up against GTA 6? What could it do differently in this reduced window of marketing? Well, I just want to say that Cloud does say that if there's nothing at Summer Games Fest and Gamescom, the mainstream conversation will be dominated by, you guess it, GTA 6. And Squadron 42 will lose irreplaceable weeks of awareness building time in a window it cannot afford to sacrifice. 100%. Now, marketing pivots. If they put some video out and it's not popular, doesn't get traction, what are the possibilities of pivoting? Now, Cloud says that in this compressed window, CIG realistically has 2 to 3 pivots before the campaign loses credibility entirely. You see, there's so much you could do with Squadron 42, whether you're looking at this type of gameplay, this type of cinematic, this type of technology. There's so much to market. So anyway, it does say that a pivot burn, it says, needs 2 to 4 weeks minimum before you see how it affects things. So you've got to wait on things. And it may pivot to the audience that something isn't working. This will put more fears and feed into the skeptics out there. And pivoting will reset the trust building process. So a pivot, for example, might be a little bit of a delay, or going back on something you've said, or something like that. So pivoting is like marketing thing that you do when you're doing a short campaign like this and you're kind of pushing stuff out there. Anyway, so the correct approach, is going to test messaging quietly with a targeted social ads before committing publicly. I think they have been doing this with us in the Squadron 42 updates that we get every quarter. So this is going into the strategy of predefine one clear core message, stick to it across every channel, and build amplification levers rather than pivot options. So yeah, Cloud does say though that CIG should go into this campaign as assuming 0 pivots. The specific situation, compressed timeline, reputation, baggage, cold audience, GTA 6 competition, oh my goodness, so much coming up, means each pivot costs more than it would for any other game launching this year. So no pivoting. It is going to be dangerous if they pivot. Now, number 7, the marketing budget then. We're going to be looking at what they could be doing. And, oh yeah. Cloud says, typical AAA games spend roughly equal to more than development costs on marketing. They spend roughly equal to or more than the development costs on marketing. Can you imagine if they had to throw $1 billion at marketing? He says Call of Duty, GTA, and major Sony titles routinely spend between $100 and $200 million plus on marketing alone. CIG has raised almost $1 billion in crowdfunding, placing Squadron 42 in the quadruple A category, isn't it? All right, the budget tier. Cloud says this is absolute floor. They have to spend a bare minimum of 15 to 20 million. This is what we would call a tier 1 budget, and it is the bare minimum for minimal noise. It's sufficient for a professional trailer campaign, basic paid digital advertising, press and media outreach, a modest influencer program, and convention presence. At this level, the campaign is largely dependent on organic momentum, and it's a risky given the awareness gap. So, I don't think anyone would be happy with the tier 1. Let's go to tier 2. So this is more realistic. It's between 30 and 50 million. This is the number where the campaign has genuine firepower, says Cloud. Full multi-platform advertising, premium streamer partnerships, substantial paid social and YouTube advertising, TV spots, strong convention presence with playable demos, PR agency support, and a Henry Cavill-led mainstream press push. All right. What if they spent more? Is there a bigger tier? There is. It's tier 3, the ambitious play between $75 and $100 million. What do you get from that? Network television, billboard campaign in major cities, premium platform partnerships, extended international localized campaigns, lightly overkill given CIG's financial structure, but useful as a ceiling benchmark. So they're probably not going to go above 100 million, is what Cloud's saying. But the biggest costs are going to be Henry Cavill-led mainstream push. That could cost between 5 and 10 million, and it would reach audiences no gaming advertising touches. So Cloud's kind of saying that you'll be going outside of the mainstream of gaming if you do that. Now, coordinated streamer launch event with 10 to 15 major creators, that's going to cost between 3 and 5 million, typically gets 5 to 10 times in earned media value. So 100%, I think we're going to see 10 to 15 major creators get paid to cover the game. If it's going to give you 5 to 10 times marketing, okay, Cloud, you got me. It's probably going to do that. Now, this is a big one. And we know this is a stretch goal, and Cloud says a documentary production and distribution potentially has it's probably the biggest asset in the entire campaign, the marketing campaign. This documentary could be the biggest thing ever. Now, we've seen Microsoft do this, where they do like a dev diary before games come out. They kind of talk about how the game is made, but the one that CIG are doing is much more bigger, isn't it? This is going to feed into the Chris Roberts concept of marketing, which I think is going to go toe-to-toe with GTA 6. Now, I'm asking Cloud then how much money, how much money do you put into marketing? How many copies do you sell? So, Cloud says if the game's at $60 and you want to sell 500k copies, that's 30 million revenue. So it's all about, they're going to have to spend marketing to actually bring in these people, is what Cloud is saying. So I basically said to Cloud, now Chris Roberts has been in Hollywood and he knows all about how to market things in Hollywood. It's a different concept to gamers. But is there an angle that Chris Roberts could do? Now, Cloud said Chris Roberts has directed Wing Commander 4 as an actual film production. Probably a terrible, it's a really niche movie, isn't it? Worked in Hollywood as a producer, spent 13 years building Squadron, it's 14 years now, building Squadron 42 with genuine cinematic ambition. So Cloud does understand Chris Roberts has spent time in Hollywood, so this is what he believes that the unique angle could be here, because I've been feeding him what I think could happen. The Talent Press Tour. Now, Hollywood films routinely send their entire cast on global press tours, late-night television, morning shows, entertainment magazines, international premieres. Squadron 42 has Henry Cavill, Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, and Gillian Anderson. No game in history has had this caliber of cast available for a press tour. A Hollywood-style talent activation would generate entertainment news coverage completely separate from gaming media, reaching hundreds of millions of people who would never click a gaming article. So hey, this reach is massive. All right. The premiere event, a Squadron 42 world premiere. Red carpet with the full cast, screen cinematics in a theatre setting. Entertainment press alongside gaming press, streamed globally for the gaming audience simultaneously. Creates a completely different category of launch event. These generate earned media worth multiples of the actual event cost. So I think this is what we're going to be having, isn't it? There's no CitizenCon this year, and there is probably going to be a red carpet event coming up. So yes, I do believe that there is going to be a Hollywood marketing angle as well as the gaming marketing angle. So there's going to be two-pronged approach is what's going to be happening. All right. Now, Cloud believes that there should be a Hollywood Treats trailer. It will release as a standalone cultural moment dropped at a specific time with coordinated press coverage. A Squadron 42 trailer crafted with genuine cinematic sensibility, scored like a film, cut like a film, released like a film, would stand apart from every other game trailer in the Summer Game Fest lineup immediately. So what Cloud's saying here is there should be a Squadron 42 trailer and there's no gameplay whatsoever. It's basically punching its weight and showing you all the story moments with all the cast. That's what he believes. It will make it stand out from every other game at the Games Fest, and everyone will be interested in the in-game quality of what it all looks like. Wow, it's going to be like wow. That's the new strategy with the Hollywood angle. All right. Now, the documentary. How, if there's a game documentary, how would this be done in the Hollywood marketing? Now, the making of story for Squadron 42 is one of the most compelling production narratives in entertainment history. 14 years, $1 billion, an obsessive vision, a cast that age visibly waiting for the moment. Cloud says, a behind-the-scenes documentary released on Netflix or Amazon 6 weeks before launch would reach mainstream audiences on streaming platforms. It would reframe the 14 years of delays as heroic determination. Give the cast authentic emotional context for press appearances and create a permanent conversation tool working for months post-launch and generate entertainment press coverage completely independent of gaming media. Cloud says Netflix or Amazon would likely commission this right now. So Cloud believes that this totally has an audience out there, a fascinated audience for gaming. And can you imagine if the documentary is put on there? We know there is going to be a documentary. I think it was a stretch goal that's going to be given out. So Cloud says if it did go on a streaming platform, that would be epic for outreach. Now, other techniques would be an exclusive first look in mainstream entertainment publications. Vanity Fair says Rolling Stone, Empire, rather than gaming outlets only. Soundtrack release on Spotify and Apple Music as standalone marketing. Scores made for gaming rarely reach mainstream music press. So there's going to be incredible music that they could push out there. And the award circuit submission. So Squadron 42's performance capture work could legitimately be considered for entertainment industry awards beyond gaming. So not just the gaming awards, but potentially outside of that as well for what they've done. So yeah, I definitely 100% there's going to be a marketing angle. Now, there is going to be a limit, however, because, of course, games aren't passive and awareness doesn't automatically convert to a purchase. The gaming ecosystem must close the deal. So $60 for the game is a longer conversation journey, he says, than a $15 film ticket. And Roberts, as a public face, carries a risk. His previous communications have sometimes increased skepticism. The Hollywood cast has different recognition profiles in Asian markets too, so he talks about that might need to be done. But basically, Cloud believes it's an unprecedented opportunity. If CIG executes a genuine Hollywood-style marketing campaign, they wouldn't just be marketing a game differently. They would be creating an entirely new category. The first game that generally markets itself as a Hollywood film with the cast, production values and press machinery to back it up. Competes with films for mainstream cultural attention. That is completely different addressable market. It's about just getting the awareness out there to be as stand up to GTA 6 really. Roberts is perhaps the only person in the games industry right now with the background, relationships, cast and product to actually pull that off. So this is going to be epic. Now, what are the confidence levels of the marketing campaign being a success? Now, Cloud believes if it's just a gaming campaign alone, it's between 55 and 65%. Yeah. He says it was a standard gaming-only market campaign, accounting for the awareness gap, the compressed timeline, vaporware, reputation, and GTA 6 competition will put it around 55-65. If you combine Hollywood into the strategy, how will that differ? A meaningful increase driven by solving the mainstream awareness problem, creating two independent conversation streams, reframing the narrative for audiences who carry none of the reputation baggage, and differentiating completely from GTA 6. Confidence level gone up from 55, now 72 to 78%. So basically, all the numbers are going up if you do combined Hollywood and gaming. So, mainstream awareness goes from 50 to 75. Overcoming the vaporware narrative goes from 60 to 80%. Cutting through the GTA noise goes from 40% to 65%. The streamer campaign effectiveness will go from 70 to 80%. The Budget, how much you're getting for the budget will go up from 40 to 55%, so you're getting more from this route. And the execution will go from 45% to 60% confidence that it could be done. All right, so pretty excited. So there's going to be a two-pronged campaign is what the prediction is going to be. Now, the best case possibility is going to be, there's about a 30% chance this is going to be big. It's going to be a viral Summer Game Fest trailer moment. That's going to be the Hollywood one. Documentary is going to generate massive mainstream streaming coverage. Gamescom will release the release date, pre-November. There's a press tour with Cavill, Hamill and Oldman. Review scores are above 88. It will sell 3 to 5 million copies in the first 3 months, and it's going to establish Squadron 42 as an entertainment franchise beyond gaming. That's the best case scenario on the scenario matrix. Can it get worse? Yeah. Well, the likely case, it says, this is 45% probable, is Hollywood elements land well in the entertainment press. Gaming campaign solid but not spectacular. Reviews are around 80 to 85. Strong opening from backers plus newly aware mainstream audience. Going to ship between 2 to 4 million copies in the first 3 months. And set CIG up strongly for Star Citizen 1.0. I don't think anybody wants to see the game get down to 80 to 85%. This needs to be a solid 88 plus. And the worst case possibility, which is 20% probable, it says that the Hollywood campaign elements fail to fully execute due to the timeline failure. Gaming campaign decent, but it's insufficient on itself. So yeah, if the Hollywood campaign does fail, then the gaming campaign is not going to be enough to market the game, and GTA 6 will dominate the November window, and that will possibly only sell between 500,000 to 1 million copies. Now, so I asked Cloud then, how could we push the probability matrix if you combined everything that we've talked about so far? All right, Cloud says to get over 85% confidence. It's the documentary, Cloud says. A genuine behind-the-scenes film commissioned immediately and released on Netflix or Amazon 6 weeks before launch is the single element most likely to push overall confidence up to 85% plus. It is the move no game in history has properly executed, and Roberts is uniquely positioned to do it. Hell yeah. So this is a huge thing to do, is the making of it, and we know we know this is going to happen. All right, what's the best case scenario path? Let's do it. What is going on at CIG? Well, this is what we believe. Phase 1 is going to be the opening salvo, or the opening shot of the marketing campaign. Now, Cloud says they need to hire a major external marketing agency with AAA game launch experience immediately. He says not internal marketing. It needs to go external. Commission the Squadron 42 documentary and approach Netflix or Amazon this week. Production begins immediately, targeting release 6 weeks before launch. I think they've already done this thing. I don't think they need to. I just think they need to talk to Netflix or Amazon if they're going to get it. Begin talent coordination. Scheduling Cavill, Hamill, Oldman and Anderson for press tour requires lead time, and that is, he says, time is running out. So I think that's all been done. So have they gone for external marketing? Yes. Are they doing a documentary? They've done it. Are they going to ask Netflix and Amazon? Probably. Have they asked the cast to do press tours? Of course they have. So phase 1 complete. We're going to say complete. Phase 2 is the Summer Games Fest, June 5th. This is going to be the first major public moment, not a gameplay trailer. It's going to be a cinematic event. Cloud says it should be 2.5 minutes, scored like a Hans Zimmer film score, opens on Henry Cavill, builds through capital ships, planetary surfaces, space combat, intimate character moments. Mark Hamill appears, Gary Oldman appears, zero HUD, zero UI, pure cinema, ends with one title card, Squadron 42 2026. Oh, they can definitely do that, can't they? Cloud says this will be a genuine shock that this game looks this good because the story itself. Yeah, they're putting the story first, right there, up there, on screen. This is going to be incredible immersion, movie-like game. The vaporware narrative takes its first serious blow simply because the product speaks for itself visually. This single moment generates more earned media than months of paid advertising. So this is the big Hollywood trailer that they're going to put into Games Fest, and it's going to stand out as the biggest game that they've shown just because of how good it looks. All right, let's go to Phase 3, the documentary. Ooh, late June or July. The full, honest story. The ambition of 2012. The missed deadlines. The technical mountains climbed. The cast members who waited years. Robert's obsessive vision. The moments the team thought it might never happen. And then the moment it all came together. This is not a promotional piece, Cloud says. He says it's a genuine film about one of the most remarkable production stories in entertainment history. It will be released on Netflix or Amazon, and it will reach mainstream audiences who will never visit a gaming website, and creates a permanent conversation tool that works for months after launch. So this is something that CIG have and potentially know of. Cloud believes this is going to be an incredible event, the documentary. So Summer Games Fest in June, documentary in July, and then in August, Phase 4, Gamescom opening night. Needs to be an extended gameplay, shown properly, unfiltered. The seamless traversal from ship interior to space to planetary surface, the combat, the cinematics, the scale. Then Roberts takes the stage personally. Not a corporate presentation, but an authentic telling of the story. And the release date is announced September or early October 2026. Pre-orders will open immediately and the backer community will erupt. Streamers will begin planning launch content and review outlets will request review copies. The entertainment press phase triggers simultaneously and Cavill posts authentically, Hamill does the same, entertainment media picks it up organically. So Phase 4, this Gamescom event, is going to be an absolute massive phase of the marketing. Now September, the Hollywood press tour. Cloud says it's going to be 6 weeks before launch. The entertainment machinery activates, not gaming press. Cavill on Graham Norton discussing what drew him to the project. Hamill on American late night television connecting his role to the legacy of iconic genre work. Oldman in Vanity Fair on Robert's vision and what makes this unlike anything in his career. Anderson in international press, particularly effective in European markets. And Roberts himself on an entertainment media tour as a director, not a game developer. Each appearance, Cloud says, reaches audience measured in millions who have zero gaming context. but enormous affection for these performers. The documentary has already done the contextual work. Journalists have a fully formed story to tell without being explained the project from scratch. So this is going to be a big event. This has been done, but it's in very... World of Warcraft did things like this, but it was not as big as what Squadron 42 is going to be doing. Phase 6, this is going to be 2 weeks before launch. This is the streamer coordination. So review copies will be distributed with strict embargoes. Simultaneously, 15 to 20 major creators across different audience profiles receive early access with a coordinated embargo lifting 48 hours before launch. The embargo coordination creates a simultaneous cultural moment. Cloud says when it lifts, millions of viewers across dozens of channels will watch Squadron 42 for the first time together. The conversation becomes a single event rather than scattered coverage. Cloud does say, though, that the first 3 hours of the game must be absolutely extraordinary. Every cinematic beat, every gameplay revelation, every visual showpiece front-loaded, because that is what the world sees before deciding whether to buy. So Phase 7 is the launch date, could be late September or October. Reviews are going to drop 48 hours before launch. And if the game delivers as expected, that the target Metacritic should be 87 to 92. These scores do something more valuable than any marketing. They finally, definitively, permanently end the vaporware narrative. Not through argument, but through the only thing that actually matters, which is that the product being undeniably excellent as judged by credible independent voices. Launch day is orchestrated as an event. All major streamers go live simultaneously. Roberts does a personal launch day live stream, and the cast posts authentically across social media. A launch trailer drops simultaneously with reviews, short-form viral clips, see TikTok and YouTube Shorts immediately. It says the projected first week sales could be between 1.5 and 2 million copies. Now, with all that done, Phase 8 will become the long tail. This is going to go into November, with, of course, and Christmas, and the GTA bubble. Word of mouth on a 40-hour narrative game builds over weeks and months as players finish the campaign and share genuine reactions. Organic conversation continues driving sales long after launch week, and the documentary continues working as a permanent conversion tool. Strong review scores sustain storefront visibility for months. Cloud does say that this is not just a successful game launch. She says this is the financial foundation that will fund Star Citizen's 1.0 development properly. In summary, Cloud says the most important thing is start now. Yeah, they probably started this in January, the whole planning of this. So that's the best strategy. It's two-pronged, isn't it? It's going down the gaming angle and it's going down the Hollywood angle. That's the best case scenario. Cloud says the strategy is sound, the assets are extraordinary, Roberts has the unique background to execute something genuinely unprecedented in the games industry. And Cloud says the question was never whether Squadron 42 could be marketed brilliantly. The question is whether CIG stars today. And Cloud wants to put a rubber stamp on this. He says the marketing confidence with the full strategy is 72 to 85, but it's over 85% with the documentary. So there you go. That is the whole marketing strategy that's going on with CIG, and why we've not heard anything from CIG, because of this plan. It's going to start at Gamesfest in June. July is the documentary. Gamescom in August. All the TV spots and Hollywood thing for September, and releasing in October. So there we are, guys. That is an in-depth look at the marketing campaign and how incredible Squadron 42 is going to be in its campaign coming forward. Something really that we can look forward to. Now, of course, this is a big prediction between me and Cloud, and we'll see how it pans out. But that is the best strategy I can see going forward, with a potential 85% success rate. So let me know down in the thoughts below if you think this is probably the most likely, or what do you think could be different in its campaign that I've not said here. So thank you so much for watching. I must thank the Cloud AI and, of course, all you gamers out there. Thank you for watching. This is PCGamer Radio covering Squadron 42. I can't wait to play this game. I'm an original backer, and please, can the persistent universe have a good first player tutorial for in place for when Squadron comes out. You just don't want to bring people over from the mainstream into Star Citizen with the tutorial that's in place. That is a car wreck waiting to happen. There you go. I left the negativity right at the end. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy. This is PCGamer Radio. You take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the verse. Well, thanks for watching. And if you remember, you can please subscribe and like the video. And don't remember, you can also hit the bell for notices on the channel. Yeah, we've also got a Twitter you can see on our banner, so check that out too. So take care and bye-bye.